Hey, what's going on, Archons? Welcome to my first Alliance video, and this is going to actually be a deck building video and the process I want to utilize for this. So, first off, I've chosen this deck. It's one of my favorite decks that has 0 Ember Control, only 1.5. And I really like this deck because of the double Might Makes Right. Is just really cool, and it has the Gangernaut combo here and some actually really big creatures and ways to pump creatures here, so it can really make the Might Makes Right goes off. I also am a big fan of the logos here. The only problem is it's giving me a lot of cycle but not a lot of Ember Control. So that's the first thing. So the first thing I know I want to do is, if you watch my last video, I said you can take 2 houses then find the third. So let's do this. So let's go first adding Directo a Passive Feeder. And then let's add the original logo. So let's just start off with that and just tweak some stats. This is what I'm going to do is I'm going to be looking at stats and I'm fighting first with this. So this is step 1. Step 2 is I only want Age of Ascension. So next thing I'm going to do is find something that has really good Ember Control. Because these two have pretty good... Okay, so this here has really good Ember Control. And double too much protect with Ronnie. Yeah, that's good. It's not adding to my bottom line of what I want, but it's doing some good things. So let me see where else. Good Ember Control. This one again, pretty high SAS, double Brand. And I believe you're sacrificing creatures, so I think Brand would actually work with the Might Makes Right, which is really good. So I'm kind of leaning towards this one right now. And the little Nif after Neighbor, yeah, I could see that being really helpful as well. What else we got here? This is, I see, okay, so we got a bod, we have proc, and that's about it. So that's not doing exactly what I want. Triple Ronnie, okay. Nerve Blast. So this is giving me 1, 2, 3, 5 cards and a key cheat. So that's interesting. So that one's pretty cool. This one also has lots. Got double Ronnie with a too much to protect. And then here, this one's not great. So, I mean, the more I'm going through, the more I think I'm going to lean towards the ones higher up, because I'm just seeing what I don't need here. I mean, this one isn't going to cut it. All right, just having a look and see if there's something else here that makes me excited. Yeah, no. I'm not seeing exactly what I want here, so I'm going to go back. Well, this one's got 1, 2, 3. This one's not too bad, actually. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards that do Ember Control. Okay. So let's just... I want to go for this one to start with. And let's see what happens. All right, so this deck went up. Ember Control went up to 8.5. That is pretty good. I wonder why it's showing these in blue. That I don't know. That's interesting. Okay, so that's neat. So synergy is really good. That's really cool the way it recalculates that. So this was one way I wanted to go about it. It provides these red locks and Knuckles and Brand. So what does Mike Right say? Sacrifice. Destroyed. I guess, does sacrifice and do destroyed triggers go off when you sacrifice? I guess they would. So this is one combination. This was one idea I had. So speed is good, creature count is good, pips are good. It's looking pretty nice. So this was one idea I had for this. This is just the simple adding some more Ember control, which is basically all coming from the shadows. So this is number one. Trick number two is I want to go back to this one. Oh, I need to build an alliance deck. And let's just go now with the main combo, which is Brobnar might makes right. Now the next thing I want to do is let's add Genka to this. Let's just do that for fun. And so here we have this Mars. And yeah, see, things are not great here. So what am I going to do? So this is Key Abduction, Martian Generosity, Proliferator, which is good. Double Dominator, which works with my Might Makes Right. All right, so let's add this one next. Now, what do we have here? So again, we're not going to have a lot. We still need some Ember control here. Ember control is still needed. So I guess the next thing we can do is do a search. What I'm going to do is no Brobnar and no Mars. And then let's add a constraint for Ember control. I want a minimum of 10. So let's do 9, just so we can see more. All right. So we have this one here, which is obviously good. So I'm going to tell you right now, I'm specifically not choosing this deck or this deck because these are decks that I will naturally play frequently. So therefore, I have less desire to use them in this. Now, okay, here's something different. So what is making up the Ember control? We got 2 Doorsteps and a Bod, Maruk, Take Hostages, Surmeros. All right. So those are contributing. Here we have all this other stuff. So I'm actually leaning towards maybe doing this because Protect the Weak kind of works, but we got big creature power here. So this feeds into what I want to do. So I kind of like the Sanctum side of things here. And let's see what else we got here. What is making this up? We got 2 lashes. Oh no, a lash, sorry. Anguish, Nerve Blast, Schuler. Okay, so this isn't doing a lot. Here's 11. What's making this up? A Lash, a Bod, Heist Knight, Brand, Skeleton Keyboard, and Miasma. Okay, not a lot. Tebmos, Spawn of Bizius. Okay, this has got 11. What is doing this? We got a Lash, a Bod, Heist Knight, Nerve. See, again, not a ton of things here that I'm liking. So you got to look for what is contributing and which houses it's coming from. So far, I think the one I'm liking the most is actually this Sanctum for a bunch of reasons. So we're going to add this because it's adding bodies as well as scaling Ember control and a couple other things that I really like. So let's see what happens with this one. This one's only 76, 9.7 on Ember control. So higher Ember control, expected Ember is high. Huge board is what I want. 15 printed Ember, 17 creatures. So this one has my only Genka house in it, but it's also got 2 Might Makes Right. So the thing this works is I can essentially Key Abduct and then go into a Brobnar. So I could go Martian Generosity, Key Abduction into the Brobnar, vomit out all my Mars creatures, and then hopefully get this. So this is kind of what I want to play. And then I have the backup here of Doorstep to Heaven and the Abad and Maruk. All these things that are going to help. Viamus Lightbringer. really handy for this. Proliferator, Archive of Mars card. Yeah, so that still allows me to do the Martian generosity aspect if I didn't get what I needed potentially. And because of the way this works, if I have enough cards in my hand, I forge the key, and then Might Makes Right needs the basically my board to be present, and so having a lot of cards in hand does that. And the cool thing about this in the end is I actually don't need Ember technically to forge a key. I can do it just with cards in hand and board. So I'm kind of liking the way this deck could be, and I think I'm going to try this one out. So hopefully I'll have a game or two or just a follow-up with how that went. So this is kind of my approach for building a deck. So I identified something I liked, which was the Might Makes Right, and then I'm just looking for other things to go along with it and help round it out. Now I have no artifact control here, so we'll have to see how this works in the end. But the cool thing is two of these Might Makes Right literally require nothing in terms of you can increase my key cost or anything, and it makes no difference to me. So that's kind of interesting. So I'm excited to see how this will play out. So this one we're going to go with, give it a test, and see how it all works together. Now, can I save this somehow? I guess not. Or maybe it's over here. Ah, it is over here. So yeah, here's a comparison. So this one is looks like it generates more Ember, but not as good board control. Better speed though. So you can kind of see what's happening here. Just gives you an idea of how it works. So you can kind of then see how everything works together. And I can do this. So I'm going to actually try the Alliance of Director Orange Man Lichia. I like how it does Director Scoodalator. Pretty cool. So I'm going to give this a shot and let you know how it goes. Hey Archons, here is an update. So what you last saw in the video, I created a deck with Director A Pasto Feeder using basically this Brobnar Double Might Makes Right as the center point of what I wanted to create. And what I did was I replaced the logos, I replaced the Untamed. If you recall, it was with a Sanctum and Genka setup. So that didn't work out. As great as the Genka was and the concept of having a deck that did not require Ember essentially to win, you could do it without Ember. It didn't work because the Ember control was actually too light. And I found I actually wasn't getting to the cards fast enough. So one of the great things about this original deck is it provided the logos to actually just go through things really quickly, between the help from Future Self to get things back, like another Might Makes Right. The Triple Titan Librarians, so you're archiving cards quicker. The ZYX Researcher, Project ZYX, and Director of ZYX, plus basically lab work and Jargoggle was providing like ultra fast ways of going through things. So that didn't work. So basically the Brobnar and logos are really amazing in this deck and did exactly what I wanted them to do. They were doing great things. Still, there's a lack of Ember control between these two. So I have the Cutthroat Research and I have Grok as the only things that are really helping with this. So it's still problematic, but what I'm finding is I went away from the original deck and it didn't feel right. So I'm going to actually go back to making an Alliance deck with two original houses. And now I'm just going to play with the third and see how it feels. So what I need to do is essentially find a really high Ember control. Now as I mentioned before, I'm instantly ruling out this deck, He Who Dramatically Owns Innocence, because I play this deck quite a bit. Same with Underboss, Nordenson, Alvarez. So they're both not going to be included because I will naturally play these decks a lot. Now, here's where we can get a little bit more interesting is with some of these other decks here. So right now I'm actually leaning towards this one, Bramble the Skeletal, because I like the Shadows house, double Brend. I'm wondering still if I can use Might Makes Right to pop Brend, and I think I should be able to. So I'm actually liking that aspect of it. Plus it has a TMTP for the Scaling Ember. The and then a Nerve Blast. So the TMTP into Nerve Blast or Brand sort of thing, because there's also a special delivery to take care of Brens in some way or another. So I like that. The other one I was looking at is potentially this one, the triple Ronnie. More so, it provides 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ways to do it, and then Key of Darkness potentially. But the truth is, I could also go down this route here, same idea, and it provides a little bit of extra board control if necessary. But what I think I'm really going to do is go over to Bramble the Skeletal. Let's give this one a shot. I think this could be the deck that actually goes together. All right, it's got a pretty good size here. It's got good speed, still a good board, good creature count, and I have things that are going to directly contribute to the double might makes right. And the fact that I can have these two things, I'm still curious why these are in blue. I'm wondering if that has to do with like synergies or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm liking the Merkins to choose a random card and play that. And then I'm also just liking the double Gamgee for Reaping and Stealing, potentially the double Brend. My creature power isn't as high as it was in the previous iterations of this deck. And again, board control is down a bit now. So that is also slightly concerning. But excuse me, I think I want to just see how this goes. I changed too much last time. The other way I might go is, so let's go see the alliance decks that are all this one. I have this one here that I did with the logos. Oh yeah, I tried this one. Oh no, this is the one I'm doing right now. Is that what I'm doing? Yes. Oh no, sorry, this is the one I just did. This one I don't think is the right one, because yeah, I just think it's going to be problematic. Although the miasmas might help, I just don't think this is the one. This one really didn't work, but I'm thinking of potentially bringing in the Sanctum instead of the logos, but I don't know if that's going to work, because the Martian Generosity was interesting. It just the Ember Control was just where it came from here. It just didn't work. So it was all in the one house and not helping. So right now I'm going to go with the Bramble, and then I'm going to maybe do Scoodulator as another one. I potentially could go the Sanctum and the Shadows here. And the reason being is Sanctum's going to provide Ember Control plus big bodies to contribute to the Make Mates right, but I'm going to be sacrificing the cycle, which this has. So we're going to first try this, the Bramble, Director Bramble, and see how it goes. And we'll try from there. So after I test this, I'll do a follow-up episode after, because I didn't have this released after testing, and maybe this will be included in this one as well, and we'll get to a final version of where this deck actually worked and what was needed. But I think this is the process that you have to go. So originally I went with a concept, switched a lot, found out it didn't work. So now let's try something where I'm going with a concept, whereas I'm keeping more of the original and just addressing a singular issue, and we'll see what happens. So stay tuned. And as always, may your ember never be stolen and your keys forged promptly. Have a good one.